Hello and welcome back to Focus Atlanta. Thanks so much for continuing to watch. In this segment, we're going to talk a little about the Lewis Prize for Music. I am here with DeLuke Smith. Thank you so much for making time to chat with us today. Give us a little history. What is the Lewis Prize for Music?
Sure. Well, thanks again so much for this invitation. The Lewis Prize for Music is a national philanthropy. We started in 2020, and we've been able to invest $20 million over the past 5 years in community-based music programs that are putting youth voice and youth artistry at the forefront of improving communities, letting young people help lead that change through their music.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, so when you say young people, how young are we? Are we talking teenagers or even younger than that?
Honestly, it is all the way from elementary age into post-high school, early adulthood. So we have programs that were founded with elementary students, Hip Hop into Learning in Louisville, the El Sistema Santa Cruz, where they're working with young people who are still in elementary school and are at that very early stage of both their development and their artistry. But we also are working with folks who are working with young adults, young people who are learning their job skills, taking those musical attributes of their life into their workplace, and using that for youth organizing. St. Louis Story Stitchers has an amazing way in which they do this, and we've supported Atlanta Music Project right there in Atlanta.
Oh, and we love AMP. I mean, whenever we get an opportunity to spend time with them, it is phenomenal just to see the growth of the students. And again, because a lot of the students in Atlanta Music Project are really young in my head. You know, when you think of a child in elementary school, you don't think of that level of artistry. But that's what, really what you're able to help them to provide. So you got to tell me then what is Blank Note?
So Blank Note is a podcast. We've partnered with Save the Music Foundation to give 3 young people the opportunity to have a national platform for their voice, but through that be able to interview extraordinary professional musicians. So we're excited that Terrence Harris, right there from D.H. Thorell High School, is one of the co-hosts for the podcast. And he interviews Braxton Cook, the saxophonist. Alongside, then he has his colleagues from Greenwood, Mississippi, Justin Littleton, and Detroit, Nadia Johnson. They're each also interviewing really well-known musicians and really exploring what does it mean to go from a learning artist to a professional artist, and what does it mean to embrace your particular musical idiom in ways that are rooted in tradition, but also are making new tradition.
That is phenomenal. And I mean, when you think of a high school student having an opportunity to have in-depth conversations about, their love of music or, what they want to do in music, that's, you can't write a ticket bigger than that. That's something that they'll take with them to the next level, maybe even to college or wherever they end up. And you're providing that window for them. Tell me a little bit about how it's received.
Oh, well, I mean, first, let's just talk about how, for these 3 young people, they're experiencing it. It's more than just, hey, we're going to have you interview a celebrity musician, right? We actually partnered them with a professional podcast producer, and she was able to essentially train them, not just in the interviewing elements, but also how a podcast is structured. How do you create story in the podcast? And so it's not just a matter of learning about the music, right? It's again, developing their own professional skills. And then in terms of the reception, oh my gosh, we've heard from so many people, and we hear over and over how much they appreciate when young people get to tell their own story and they get to ask the questions that are important to them. So we're just thrilled. We're thrilled with the ways in which this podcast is received, but also all the ways in which young people's artistry is received when it's really given attention by those of us who are a little older than that these days.
Yes, and the attention to it is so critically important for them to, grow and take things to the next level. Well, thanks for coming on the show, but I can't let you get out of here though without giving us a website. Can we learn more about any other, projects that you all have, on the books?
Sure. So our website is theLewisPrize.org, very simple. And you'll actually find on that website all of the awardee organizations we've supported all across the country. You'll see amazing work in all musical genres, from all cultural histories and idioms. We go as far away as Guam with one of our awards. Northeast, South, every part of this country, this work is going on, and we're so thrilled to be able to support it and thrilled to be able to have this opportunity to talk about it. Thank you.
No, thank you. It was my pleasure. Thanks for coming on the show. Thanks for the work that you do. And I can only hope that you're able to continue with community support. Take care.
Thank you. You too.
All right, guys, you could be a part of this too. Take the opportunity to go to the website and see how perhaps you can step in. You can, perhaps be a venue to help these kids. The way that they grow in their artistry is impressive, but to be able to have the backing of a foundation sometimes is really just, the next step, the next notch that they need on the belt. So take the opportunity to go to the website and learn more.